Hello and welcome back. I hope you're ready for another episode of Tales from Helheim.
The Old Woman. English is not my first country language, so sorry if I spell something wrong. I'm from Denmark, and I'm still there and 13 years old. So when I was 13 is when this happened to me. I live in Denmark and my grandma lives in Lithuania. So every summer me and my mom take a trip over to her and live in our apartment. My mom and I live in another apartment than my grandma. So I was playing with two of my friends from Lithuania. They were 9 and 5, so they couldn't speak as much English as I could. But we were playing with a ball at 10 p.m. Then an old woman started walking over to a bench and started to stare at us. I didn't think much of it, so I didn't tell my friends. Then she stands up and starts coming towards us. My friends start looking at her. They run up to the door to their apartment section and hold the door open for me. They start to scream that I should come over to them. I don't know what to do, so I run in a circle to see if the old woman is following me. And the next thing made me run over to my friends. She started smiling and staring into my eyes. I started running over to my friends, looking behind to see if the woman was following me. And she was still following me with that creepy smile. We locked the door, then ran up the stairs and looked out the window to see if the woman was there, but she had disappeared. We waited at the stairs because maybe she had waited behind the door, because you can't see them from the window. While we were waiting, they told me that the woman had killed a kid in the neighborhood. It was about time for me to go home, so I opened the door and looked out the door to see if there was anyone there, but there wasn't anybody. So I started to run up to my apartment section and tried unlocking the door, but it didn't work. I started hearing someone walking towards me. I tried again, and this time it worked. I started to run up to my apartment door and unlock it with my key. I got in and locked the door. My mom was sleeping, and I didn't want to wake her up to tell her about what happened because she had been really tired today. So I figured that I would just tell her about it in the morning. So I made something to eat out of the fridge. While eating, I stuck my head outside the window, as it is night, and I like to look at the stars. I stay there and eat for around 5 minutes, and then look down because I was done eating. But when I looked down, I saw the woman under a tree. She started staring at me with those eyes that she wanted to kill me. I froze. I don't know what to do as I was only 13. I took a kitchen knife and had it on me the rest of the night. And again I checked if the door was locked, and it was. So I went to bed, opening the door to my bedroom so I could look at the door and see if anyone was trying to get in. The time went by and I couldn't fall asleep. Then I heard 3 knocks at the door. I slowly started walking over to the door. While I was out of my room, the floor started creaking. I walked over to the door very slowly. I had the kitchen knife in my hand. If I would have needed, I looked out the peephole. I didn't see anything. Then an eye came out of nowhere and stared into me. I said if she would be there in a minute, I would call the cops. I didn't know if she would understand what I was saying because most people that live around here can't speak English. So I walk into my mom's bedroom, looking if she had woken up after I started screaming at the woman, but she was still sleeping. I walk over to my bedroom, got up in my bed, and I stayed in bed for almost 2 hours, afraid to sleep because I was scared that the woman would try to break in if I would fall asleep. I looked at my phone to see what time it was, and it was 3 a.m. I was about to fall asleep when the door handle started to try and open, but it just went up and down as the woman behind the door was trying to open the door. I just stayed there. It kept going up and down for 10 minutes, then it stopped. I must have fallen asleep because the next thing I remember was my mom waking me up for breakfast. While we were eating, I told her about what happened. She didn't believe me and just said that I had had a nightmare. Nothing ever happened again with that woman, but it still freaks me out what happened that night. You were all maybe thinking I am stupid, and why didn't I call the cops? But if I would have called the cops, I couldn't speak with them, as they don't know how to speak English. So you see, even a park and an old lady can be your worst nightmare.